mean. Hi guys, it's Rainbow Rocks, feeling super excited to be back in front of the camera. Feels to me at least like it's been forever, but I'm all moved into my new place with a fancy vanity now too, which I'm super excited about. But anyways, my high school friend Alexa saw one of my profile pictures on Facebook where I did kind of an everyday cool tone look and requested a tutorial, so here it is. It's starring the Too Faced matte palette, but a lot of the colors that I do use in the palette are super easy to find, and dupes are out there too, so never fear if you don't own this palette. My lighting situation is being worked on as well, so try to cope with that and with my unwashed hair. Anyways, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe, and let's get going. So my foundation and brows are already done. My eyes are also primed and ready to roll. I've been doing Spock brows lately, but go ahead and eat my shorts if you don't like them. What's the fun of makeup if you aren't fucking around and trying new things, you know? So I'm going to start with this color Chinchilla. It's a nice cool tone matte brown, very similar to MAC Wedge. I'm going to take any mid-sized blending brush, this one is from BH Cosmetics, and I'm going to place this in my socket / crease area. The key is not to have your eye too open or else it will settle right into those little crease wrinkles. If you don't know where your socket is, you can usually just feel around for it. I like to blend into the socket because I have hooded lids. Just use circular and back and forth motions until this color is present but diffused. And make sure you don't take it all the way up to the brow bone. Next, wipe off the brush and dip it into the color Pebbles, which is a very cool matte gray with a blue undertone. Don't take too much product. If you do, tap off the excess. Then we're going to place that into the crease, keeping it below the socket. I like to start in the center of the crease because it makes the overall shape of the crease easier to work with in the end. I know that when I do this, most of the color deposit sits right there, but that's why we can just keep dipping the brush lightly into the product and evening that out as we go. Blend this with light back and forth motions until it fades discreetly into the brown we used. Next, we're going to highlight the eyes. I'm going to take Velveteen Bunny, which is kind of a matte bone color, sort of off-white, on any flat and dense brush of your choosing. This is a filbert brush by Ulta. I'm just going to pack that onto my lid up to my crease all the way to my tear duct. This is pretty self-explanatory. The key, though, is to wipe off the brush once your lid is like nice and light and use the tip of the brush to swipe into the crease and make sure that the white isn't too harsh. It obviously doesn't have to be perfectly blended because you want a nice contrast, but we also aren't doing a cut crease. Feel free to take your blending brush from before and blend the whole thing together as well. Then on your same brush, highlight the brow bone by swiping a little bit of Velveteen Bunny underneath your arch. As long as you don't take too much product, this should blend itself with very little effort by you. Yay! Last color is going to be Vintage Violet, which is a very cool mauve. Any mauve or neutral purple shade will work. Take a more paddle-shaped fluffy brush, this one is by Japonesque, and place this color into the outer corner of the eye. What I like to do is take the product onto the flat side of the brush since it's flat, and then pack it onto that outer corner, and then blend with the fluffier top of the brush. Once you're ready to blend, take it into the crease and up slightly in, but don't go past the outside of the iris. This color barely shows up with this light, but it just adds a nice smoky tinge of purple that really brings the previous colors together. Next, I'm just going to take this felt tip liner by Ulta and tightline my upper waterline. I like the pointy tip because it really gets between those lashes and makes sure your waterline is hella solid. Avoid the inner corner when doing this, and beware, it tickles. Once that's all done, I'm just going to apply mascara and leave it. You can apply falsies if you want, but for the typical day, I just like to curl my lashes and hit them with L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black for maximum length and volume, yo. Now, you can choose to put black in the waterline once your under eyes are concealed, but I want to keep this pretty daytime appropriate, so I'm going to take this lip pencil from NYX. It's called Natural, and I'm going to place that into my waterline. I mostly just do this because I have red, sickly looking waterline, and I don't want that to show, especially for a look with cool tones like this. Any soft brown type of liner will work. Then apply bottom mascara. I'm using my trusty Avon Super Extend Extreme, and you're all done with the eyes. So I'm going to do a soft contour using only my Essence Sun Club bronzer and just place that in all the normal areas, my forehead, hollows of the cheeks, sides of the nose. The key to keep your contour light and soft is to, again, work with small amounts of product. Then I'm just going to keep this whole look in the cool family. I'm going to take this loose blush from Avon called Rose Radiance. It's cool because it has a lot of mauviness to it, and I'm going to apply that to the apples of my cheeks. It's important to get a small amount into the lid and shake it around so it's not all sitting in one spot, and then just lightly dab your blush brush into it and then tap off plenty of excess. Too much and you start to look like a clown. I get a big smile going and use circular motions to swirl it onto those apples and up against the edge of my contour, stopping parallel to the outer corner of the eye. And for my highlight, I'm taking my Wet n Wild bronzer in Reserve Your Cabana, and I'm using my Japonesque 344 to hit the bridge of my nose, the center of my forehead, my cupid's bow, the center of my chin, and the tops of my cheekbones. I'm doing this all lightly for fear of warming up the face too much. Let's keep it cool. Here are a couple of lip options. My number one choice would be just a nice enhancement of your natural lip color. For me, that's the Tarte Lipsurgence Lip Tint in Exposed. I've been using this color for natural looks for as long as I can remember. I use it enough that I even have a spare because the empty ran out. Phew. It's super easy to apply because it's just a lip crayon and it smells like mint. You can obviously adjust depending on your skin tone and the tone of your lips. For a more avant-garde natural look, I would suggest a very stark nude, like the one that matches your skin exactly. For me, that's Maybelline's Bare All lipstick. I love stark nudes like this because there's a lot of room for you to apply it as haphazardly as you want and you can't even tell. I can holla at not needing to apply lip liner, you know? And my last suggestion is a baby pink because baby pinks just always seem to complement cool looks really well. I like to take this Avon lip liner, and I've had this forever and the name is completely rubbed off, but any baby pink lip liner will do the trick. I overdraw my cupid's bow just slightly and line the rest where my lip line is naturally, and then I fill in the whole thing. The reason I do this is because a lot of baby pink lipsticks, which we will use here in a second, tend to be white based and go on somewhat transparent. You want an opaque base first. Then I'm going to take NYX's Extra Round Creamy Lipstick in Strawberry Milk, which is just a cult baby pink color. I'm just going to fill in my lips with this, and then that's it. And just so you know, Alexa, I think that in that picture, all the product on my lips had rubbed off, so I have no idea what I was actually wearing on them that day, but these are what I would go for nowadays. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please leave your comments and requests, thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!